Welcome to the Your Next Level podcast. I'm your host, Insaaf. Join me every Monday for a new episode where we talk career, manifestation, money, relationships, and so much more. Join us as we show you how to get from where you're at to your next level. You can expect a new episode every single Monday. Welcome to Your Next Level with Insaaf. Okay, Clarice, welcome to the Your Next Level podcast for the third time, I think.
Yeah, it is the third time. The last time we did this was last year, actually. Was it last year?
No, I think it
No,
was this
it was
year.
this year. It was this year because I had just started at my new company, and wow, I
Yeah,
think
and
I'm
now
have become part of the furniture now of the podcast.
and now, I mean, last time we discussed career, and this time you're coming on the podcast as a podcast host yourself. So
So
tell us a
unbelievable.
bit about the Not Your Ordinary podcast.
Okay, well, the whole point of the podcast is to touch on all things self-care, dating yourself, and really just understanding and trusting that process, which means like your journey.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to let people know that there are certain things in life that they feel that they might be going through and it's unique to them, and sometimes it can give you like a whole lot of anxiety, and I just really wanted to put out a few experiences that I've gone through and let people know that those topics that they feel are really hindering their progress or just really stressing them out or putting their life at a halt. It's normal, and I have gone through it. And I'm no professional at this, so I just wanted to share my experiences and hopefully help someone who gets to listen to the podcast episodes.
Definitely. I mean, I told you like last week's episode. I mean, every week's episode, there's just so much good nuggets, so much good information that anyone can take from it, whether you are single or in a relationship, like new or been dating for a very long time. I think like last week's episode really spoke to me about the attachment styles and understanding like your attachment styles can change as well. And just
Yep.
seeing how it is that fits with you, and that could be causing some difficulty in your relationship, and just being aware of those attachment styles can help you have a more like flourishing relationship, not only an intimate relationship but also like with friends and family members as well.
100%. I mean, I learned so much through just researching the topic itself and didn't know like exactly those signs that categorize you into those attachment styles. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with you if you are in one of them. It's
Mm.
just to like make you aware of these are the things that make you you, and whether you like it, then that's good. And if you don't, then you know what you need to change.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. So today's episode, because on our podcast, which in some way it's very similar, we want to help you get to the next level of your life, of your relationships, of your career, etc. But today's episode, we're going to help you. We're going to talk a bit about career, because I don't think either of us have spoken about career on our podcast.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken about career in a very long time. My episodes it's more just like overarching, but today's episode is going to be a bit more fun because we're always talking about the serious stuff. So today the first thing we're going to do is play a game, which is Would You Rather Career Edition, and then we're going to get into some juicy career mistakes that people have made, and maybe if you're lucky we will share some career mistakes that we have made.
Exciting.
All right. Okay. So let's get into the Would You Rather.
Is it illegal to move?
Would you rather have a high paying job that you hate, or a low paying job that brings you joy and fulfillment?
I would rather have a low paying job that brings me joy and fulfillment. Because I think that if you are going to do something and you're going to put your time and effort into it, why not just enjoy it? I mean, your time is so valuable.
Yeah, but you'll be getting paid like less.
You will be getting paid less, of course, but then would you rather be unhappy?
Yeah. And I think that like I think this one, when I read it, I thought that it really depends on like the person, because
Yeah.
some people may be, it depends on like what you're driven by, and some people may be driven by money. So they'll take the money over everything, really. For me, honestly, like a high-paying job that you hate could allow you to find something that you fulfill, that makes you feel fulfilled.
I love that. I actually didn't think
So,
about it that way.
so I'm thinking about that as well. Look, I know I've never been in a job that I hate. But I mean, I've been in a moment in a job where I wasn't feeling fulfilled anymore. And I know what that could feel like. I know it can feel like, why do I have to come to this place every single day? So definitely like money, if your life is only going to be your job, then definitely find something that you love. But if you can like if you want to build a side hustle or build your own thing, then I think it's okay to take a job that's going to give you money because your main focus is on the thing that you're building.
That's very true. I mean, if I can just add, I think, of course, like money is something that you need. You need it to live. You need it to
Yeah.
thrive. It does bring happiness into your life, definitely. And I love the way that you put that. Um, I also think that maybe it's just also the space that I am in right now in my life where I'm all about gratitude and joy. And I'm not saying I'm going to just do things, be a freelancer or anything like that. But maybe it's about the phase that you are in your life at that point in time.
It
Yeah.
is. It 100% is. Um, and it again, like I said, it depends on like what drives the person in that chapter of their
Yeah,
life as well.
of
Okay,
course.
next one. If given the choice, would you rather or would you prefer a stable and predictable career, which could sound good, or one full of exciting but uncertain opportunities?
Oh, this is a tough one. I'm just thinking, I'm worried that these are going to sound contradictory as we go more and more into them
No,
because
no judgment.
Okay. Can you just repeat that again? Sorry.
Okay. Would you prefer a stable and predictable career?
Mhm.
Okay, which like we know we were kind, or at least myself, this is what you are told. Like when you are younger,
Yeah.
find a job that you can, that's gonna pay you well and then you can live your
Yeah.
life. Or one full of exciting but uncertain opportunities. Like you don't know. It's you basically taking a risk every time.
Again, I think the phase that I am in my life right now, and the exercise that I went through with my career coach, laying out that foundation of where I see myself, it's unrealistic, but this version of me feels like it's possible. So I would go with the unpredictable option, the latter,
Yeah.
because it means that every time you reach a certain goal, there's a bigger one that's out there. You don't know what it is, but you can create that. Whereas if you have this systematic stable or linear view of what you're going to do, or what your career path looks like, um, yeah, I don't think that would work for me actually.
Yeah, same. I would definitely choose the one that's exciting and uncertain. I think that I thrive in uncertainty in the sense of like I actually like change. I think I'm one of the
Yeah.
few people that really enjoy change because like staying the same is as cliche as it sounds, it's just so boring. Like there's no growth. But I mean, having a predictable, like if you're listening and you choose like a predictable career, that is also okay because like it means you know what's coming, what's the next step. There's surety and insurety. I guess there's safety and somewhat security as well. So I can totally understand if someone is leaning towards that one. Okay. The next one is in your ideal work environment, would you rather have a strict and structured schedule or the flexibility to create your own?
The flexibility to create my own. I think again that that brings me back to your latest podcast episode about being the CEO of your life.
Yeah.
So being in control of your own calendar. And I think that is so powerful because I mean, with career, there's also all those other things that you need to build in yourself, right? So how would you build that if you have like such a rigid, structured day? You need that time for
Yeah.
yourself to be better.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. I think also like the times that we're living in, like I love structure, 100% love structure, but I love like the freedom of the flexibility. My soul would die if someone says like you need to be at work at this time, like it's non-negotiable. I would literally like die inside. Okay. The next one is, would you rather be a boss of a company with high expectations and pressure, or be part of a team with less responsibility but limited decision-making power? So either high expectations, like, so, it's one of those, the way I say it is like one of those roles where you get paid a lot of money because your decisions is like what's going to take the business forward. It's like make it or break it. And then the next one is, or be part of a team that has less responsibility. So you can just be a team member, life seems somewhat easier, but you have limited to almost no decision-making power.
I think I definitely want to be the boss, or the leader rather, let's phrase it
Yeah.
like that. To have that decision-making power. And I think you took the words out of my mouth, to move the business forward. I love
Yeah.
that. I live by that. I've heard that from you many times. Because that sort of leadership will filter down into those teams that are okay with being team members. And maybe one day they might see me and use me as an example to want to get there one day. So not just that, I think it's also just it's where I want to be one day.
Yeah. I love that. I love being a team member in the sense of I think only maybe 2 years ago did I understand what it means to be a good team member. Other than that, I think previously I was working in a team, but in silos as well. So just recently, when I read this book, I think it's called like The Five Dysfunctions of a Team. And you can actually see yourself because there's five or so different people, and you kind of like, when you're reading a book, you place yourself into one of those characters and seeing how you may add to a dysfunction, etc. Just made me become, in my opinion, a better team member. But I would definitely I would prefer the boss with the high expectations. It is what like I've been driving my entire career for. I like high expectations, like bring it on. Okay. If you had to choose, would you prefer a career that allows you to work independently or one that involves constant collaboration with others?
I I recently feel like, not recently, probably in the last 2 years, I've become more of a people's person. I think it's also the role that I'm in. So I definitely want to collaborate with others. I want to communicate. I want to be that frontline person that like chats to the client and understands what they want. So definitely the latter for me.
Yeah, I think for me also, I mean, in my career choice, I don't think that I have a choice.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, I think again, like it would be, could I work by myself like 100% because that's part of, our jobs anyway. But I think like not having other people to communicate with on a daily basis will make my soul die slowly inside as well. In the long run, would you prefer a career with a clear upward trajectory in terms of promotions and advancements, or one with a more relaxed pace? So again, I think this one depends like the phase that you are in your life, because I think I know a lot of people that would prefer a relaxed pace because then they can focus on like their families and some other like fun things. What would you choose?
I would choose the upward trajectory. I'm really at a phase in my life where I want to push myself and I want to do the best that I can for myself and learn as much as I can from those before me. So I want to see that climb.
Yeah, definitely. I think that most people in my circle would want to choose that. I think everyone listening on the podcast would, except maybe I can think of some people, like if you have a family, and you feel like you spent so much of your life like focusing and giving to work, and now you finally want to give like most of your time to your family. I can understand that. Okay. If you had to prioritize, would you rather have a job that offers excellent work-life balance or one that provides constant challenges and opportunities for growth?
Oh, this
You
is
can't
so
have
difficult.
both.
This is so difficult. Okay, I want to chat through the two first and then I will decide. Okay.
Okay.
So just to help me think about it as well. I mean, work-life balance is so important. I mean, like I recently adopted the whole practice of meditation and I gym a lot. I love gymming in the morning, taking walks. Like my health is a very, very big part of my life. And it also helps me do better at work.
Mm.
Um, but with the challenges side of things, the second option that you mentioned, I mean, that also just it drives you and it pushes you. Oh my goodness, I don't know. Can you just read the second one again to me
Okay.
just so I can absorb it?
I'm going to read the entire.
Okay.
If you had to prioritize, would you rather have a job that offers excellent work-life balance? Okay, let's imagine they even have like a meditation, like 1 hour dedicated to meditation. Maybe like bring your family days. I don't know. Maybe you work 4 days a week, okay? Or one that provides constant challenges and opportunities for growth. So like the constant challenges, this that can seem like what's the word? Like a bit demotivating. Because it's
Right.
like challenge after challenge after challenge.
And then like after you're almost like suffocating, then you get this opportunity. No, I think the way that you put it, I definitely take the first one. I mean, the first one, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have opportunities for growth. I mean, growth
Yeah.
can mean career, it can mean personal. So with that work-life balance, you're going to have a more clear life. Well, that's just how I perceive it.
Yeah, and I think in that way also you are able to, because you'll have the balance, right? So your
Yeah.
mind can open up a bit more to creative thinking and applying yourself in different ways versus like the way I'm reading the constant challenges is like there is always problems, but you're gonna grow because we grow from problems, right? Like
Yeah.
that's one of the main ways that we grow. Okay.
I think that's why, sorry, I think that's why like I was a bit confused or not confused, torn between the two because you want that growth.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I actually really like that last one.
And I think, you know what, like, let's just talk about that for a moment because
Yeah,
having balance in your life does not mean that you can't grow within an organization. Like,
of course.
prioritizing yourself, I mean, talk about dating yourself, prioritizing yourself, like, whether in the workplace, in your working environment, or in a relationship, does not mean that there's no growth.
Exactly. There's time
Yeah.
for everything. It's what you want out of life and how much of time you're willing to dedicate to all those different areas of your life.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's just it can be challenging balancing it all, but you just have to select like what you want to prioritize for that phase or that period or that chapter. But
Yeah.
I think one can have it all. I truly believe it. I read this quote that said you can have it all, just not all at once. And I don't know how I feel about that.
But again, I'm just going to reiterate what you said in your podcast that your latest podcast. Be in control of your calendar. So be the CEO of your life. And I feel like I want to write that down somewhere because I want to drill it into my brain.
Yeah, maybe I should print it on a mug. Okay, we're gonna get into the career mistakes. Like I found these hilarious. I was like laughing to myself. So I hope that you like I wanted to stop reading because I wanted to like laugh, again for the first time. So I hope you're gonna find it as funny. Okay, so what I did was I was searching what are to make the episode like a bit more lighter, a bit more fun, because we all make mistakes in our career, and often like we are so hard on ourselves, and we think that mistake is going to define us. And the thing is that your mistake that you are making now is going to look so tiny compared to the mistake that you are going to make in like 5 years from now.
That is so true.
Do you remember we had someone at our company that came to speak and she told us about the mistake that she made, which
Yes.
I think costed the company like some money. It was like a massive mistake. And she referred to it as the little mistake that she made. But,
Yeah.
but to me, I was like, if I were to make a mistake like that, that would be major.
It would be major, but maybe to her, like you said, now it looks little because she's dealing with so much bigger stuff in her life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some of the mistakes that people have made. Maybe I could read one and then you can read the other one.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. This person said, I sent an email without the attachment, he noticed, sent a second email apologizing for forgetting to attach the attachment without the attachment. Okay, so he sent an email without the attachment, then he sent an apology saying that he attached it, and then he forgot to attach it. Then he wrote out a third email and genuinely came so close to sending that third email without the attachment again.
I mean, I think I'm guilty of this, but not so many times. I've done it once, even when like Outlook says, "Did you forget to attach something?" It's like, no, I attached it. I know I did. Like, don't doubt me. So I have done it, not 3 times, once though.
I had this one colleague also. I think she did this like twice. And the thing is, like, when we send emails, we have to, from an HR point of view, like you're always sending to the entire like company. And if you're working for a big company and you're like, oh, yes, the attached. Let me try again. Yes, it again. And it's not it.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to read this one?
Okay. Many years ago, I sent out 30 speculative CVs with a covering letter that started, "Dear Sir or Madman." Oh my goodness. This actually reminds me of something. This wasn't an email, but it was a message that, because like in our company, or in companies, you have WhatsApp groups, right? So I sent a message saying, thanks, it's supposed to say thanks, it's a pleasure, and it said thanks, it's a pervert, by accident, because of autocorrect. And I was so embarrassed. And at the time, WhatsApp didn't have the edit functionality, so I was like, delete.
Oh my goodness. Once I think I was going through, I think it was last year or the year before, I was going through a busy period, but I didn't realize that I was overwhelmed until I kept on like sending emails with spelling mistakes like the entire time, like stupid words like those double barrel words like therefore or something like that. And like people emailed me back asking like, are you okay? Like multiple people. And I was like, yeah, like, do I not look okay? Because I feel okay. And then when I checked my email, I was like, holy crap, like I made so many spelling mistakes. It was so embarrassing.
I don't know about you, but for me, I feel like it lingers. I think I've messaged you about this once before. Like it lingers in my mind, and I think, oh my gosh, if you send an email to a client, then you probably wonder, do they think that I'm stupid? Like, do they know that I promise I can spell? This was not my fault.
I hope that they just realize that once upon a time they must have made the same mistake. But you know what? I mean, even with this, like, Dear So Madman, I think that if I had time, I would interview this person just to understand their personality, because this is very funny. Okay. I was applying for jobs from my phone and quickly edited my resume on my phone beforehand, which I do not recommend. Anyway, autocorrect decided that I meant cucumbers, not customers. I didn't notice the change, and a good 40 jobs became aware of my great experience in quickly ascertaining cucumber needs.
Oh my goodness. I hope this person kept it cool like a cucumber. Sorry, that was a very bad joke.
Oh my goodness. No, I love it cool as a cucumber. I love it. I'm picturing like a cucumber with sunglasses.
With
like
sunglasses, right?
There has to be a meme out there. Like there has to be a meme like that.
Okay. So at least you weren't me, unaware that changing your YouTube username is something to something anonymous also changes the name on your email address, and then joining your building's owner association meetings or mailing lists and find out that they only know you as Millennial Avocado and the Unicorn Queen. By the way, Queen is spelled with a K here. I love it. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. I think I'm a little obsessed with these names, by the way.
I literally feel like that Millennial Avocado, the Unicorn Queen. I feel like I resonate so much with it.
I don't know what it is, but I know I feel it inside. So just refer to me as Millennial Avocado from now on.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Didn't realize that my phone has been autocorrecting best to beast. Signed, a whole slew of professional emails with Beast Erica.
I love that hashtag beast mode. I always say this when I go to like the gym, because a lot of people would come up, not a lot of people, that sounds very weird. People would come up to me and be like, why do you always look so angry? And I'd be like, no, I'm in beast mode. So I'm literally picturing like a huge bulky person, just like flexing their muscles or something.
I love it. Like when you said like a lot of people, because I sometimes do that. I'm like, people ask me and it's like literally just why did they
But it's like, let me just add some spice to the story.
People talk. Right. Okay. Oh my goodness. I once texted my boss a couple of questions. She answered the first, and to the second she replied, I'll be meeting with Mary and Anne today to discuss that. My reply, thank you for getting back to me on those two. I don't think I can mention it on the podcast. But basically, she meant to say, thank you for getting back to me on those two counts. But she spelt it without the O.
I love how humans can be sometimes. Like, this is hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
Right. On a Friday, just before finishing work, I had a flurry of emails with a client called Stan signing off. He emailed, "Have a great weekend," and I hurriedly replied, "You too, Satan." And I'm pretty sure this person probably had a really good heart, just be excited to respond fast and, like with so much of enthusiasm.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Oh gosh.
That is hilarious.
It's so funny because it's like, it's either autocorrect, okay, which happens on our phones, especially when you have a new phone and your phone isn't like channeled into you. Yeah. Or like subconsciously, this person actually typed Satan.
I was wondering, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, where was their mind at the time, or how did they feel after they realized that this is what I typed, and then like you can't recall the email back.
But do you respond? Do you say sorry? I mean,
I don't know. I feel like the most extreme situation would be like, delete your emails, delete the account, just get a whole new account.
Just start a whole new life.
Go to Mexico. No shame. Sorry, I do sympathize with this person.
My fear at work, seriously, is sending an email that I'm supposed to send to one person, like to the entire company. That's like my fear.
I have a story about that. I'm going to try and keep it as PG as possible. So in my previous company, they had this, it was like around Women's Month, and they were talking about women who recently, gave birth, and, like things that come with giving birth. And there was like the seminar that was going on, and shame, this lady accidentally responded to everyone in the whole company and gave her personal experience of what she's going through right
Oh
now.
my
And I felt
goodness.
so bad for her. Luckily, the company was fast enough, like the security team was fast enough to
They're good.
recall the email. It was very personal. Like the things I go through when you give birth and you have like a newborn baby and those challenges and shame.
Yeah.
It was just very, very heartbreaking. So a little tip, double check who you are
Like triple
responding to.
check. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that is hectic. Wow. Because clearly she needed to share if
Yes,
she
I think she
shared.
needed advice. Yeah, she definitely needed advice. She's
Oh.
probably like a first-time mom, so like a lot of people just felt very, very bad for
How do
her.
you how do you feel after that? Like you're already going through so much and then you like because you kind of blaming yourself after that. You're like, I just put like my entire life
Right?
situation out for the
But
entire company.
I also think I think a lot of maybe let's say women specifically could like understand. So if you are
Mm,
like mature enough, you just be like, no, we can understand, and
yeah.
that you're not going to take it in like a weird, funny sense. But
Yeah.
shame, I felt very bad for her.
Yeah, for her, shame. It
Yeah.
just reminded me also this one time. So, you know, in like on LinkedIn, you'll always see these posts. It says things like recruiters stop like letting people come for interviews when you already know who's getting the job. You all like I often see those types of things, and like
Yeah.
I'm always thinking like, no, that's not what's happening until this one incident. I don't know if you can remember, but also at previous company an HR person sent out a job vacancy, okay?
Yeah.
But she didn't delete the trail of emails.
I remember us chatting about this.
Yes, and the trail of emails literally said person X is getting the job.
Yeah.
And then someone had responded, like the random person that saw the vacancy and said, thanks for letting us know that person X got the job. Like I
Oh
could
my
just have
goodness.
imagined like how she had felt.
Of
And I remember
course.
I think she was like a senior HR person at the time. I can just imagine how she had felt. And I think that that types of like mistakes and emails and stuff also is the reason why people create those types of LinkedIn posts. But yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what I would have done if that
I
were
think it's
me.
something to like whoever's listening to this, like think about like what would you do if you were in that situation? I think it would be interesting to hear about other people's like maybe not serious mistakes, but funny
Yeah.
mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Next one. Is it my turn or yours? It's mine.
It
Yeah, it's mine.
is
Okay.
your turn.
Taking a day off, I emailed my boss. Taking part today. They meant to say PTO, which is personal time off. The boss responded, oh.
I feel like my boss would respond oh too if that was the case.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that is so funny. Yeah, well, sorry, I was just thinking about the previous one. Okay.
But I mean, like I'm thinking also like if one of my team members had emailed me this, and even if they'd say like, oh, like it was autocorrect, I'll still like next time I see them, I'll be like, are you sure it was autocorrect?
I'd probably ask like, so how was it?
Yeah.
Are you fine? Do you need water? Like,
Do you need some like munchies?
right? That's so funny. Okay.
Okay.
So the next one, my phone autocorrects. Is it Daniela? I think it's Daniela
Danielle.
to the jelly all the time. Many, many, many academic colleagues across institutions have received this incredibly odd sign off. Interestingly, I have yet to receive an awkward reply about it. I wonder what they are all thinking. Imagine, like, you're a full on academic, you have like your master's or your PhD, and you're like, peace out, the jelly.
Kind regards. Thank you for reviewing my thesis, dear Jelly.
The jelly. Oh my word, that is so funny. I hope that's actually not on their like actual thesis that was published in a journal or something.
Okay, this is going to be the last one. Okay. I work for a private autobiography company. I once emailed a client to tell him I had sent the order to our book binders and he'd have his book in 3 weeks. He emailed back Thanks. Also intrigued to know who or what the boob kinders are. We basically swapped like the letters around.
The letters around. I'm pretty sure that's when like your body's on autopilot and you think you know how fast you are moving. But,
The boob kinders.
the boob kinders. I mean, I have to give it to the person who responded, right? At least they embraced it.
Imagine receiving that email like,
Oh my goodness.
I sent you a book to the boob kinders.
It's like, what site is this? Or what address is this? That is hilarious. So I actually found a couple of funny career mistakes myself.
Okay.
They're not as hilarious as what we just went through, but I thought it's like it's kind of funny. And I started thinking like, how would I be in that situation? So coffee disasters. So spilling a coffee on yourself right before an important meeting or an interview. I think that gave me anxiety when I read.
Like my fear. That is my fear when I wear a white shirt or like a light color. And I think maybe that's why I'm always wearing dark clothes, because I'm so scared that's going to happen to me.
I can completely agree. And I think usually when I think about it, that's when it happens. Like if I say I'm not going to do this and I just have the coffee in front of me, and it's always that favorite shirt, when you look your best. The other one was unexpected video calls. So when you meant to like audio call someone and you're sitting there with like your hair in a messy bun working from home, you accidentally video call someone.
Once we used to have just like 6 a.m. Zoom meeting calls with like everyone in the team, and this was like COVID times, just when it started. And there's always the one team member that doesn't want to put their camera on, and at that time you're just like, oh, whatever, like we just need to get the meeting over and done with. And it was 6 a.m. and this team member switched on her camera, and she didn't realize that she switched it on. So
no.
And everyone was carrying on with the meeting, but a few of us were like shocked, like what was happening, because we could see her like actually chilling in her bed, and she had like her night like headscarf.
Oh my goodness!
You can see like the moment she realizes.
That would have been one to record.
Camera's on. Oh, shame, it was horrible.
And like, how do you play that cool? I mean, I know I would immediately freak out, and I quickly, like, we have a slider at the top by the camera, so I would like quickly push that, or like, I don't know, sorry, my internet dropped or something.
Just like sign off, leave meeting now. My child was playing with it. Sorry.
Right. The other one is unintended office pranks. And this one is kind of funny because I don't know if you've ever experienced like that fear of when you want to leave your desk, but you're a bit lazy to lock your PC and you leave it open, and you're so worried someone is going to send an email to the whole company saying like lunch is on me or something like that. Literally. And I know that is frowned upon, but I think that did happen in my previous company. No one took it seriously, but
it depends like who you're working with. I think for me, again, like I'm always, I mean, this is more like serious. I'm always so worried, like when an IT person, like the technician, is working on my PC for some reason, because I have so many like confidential information in there, and the information that I have, they might see information of other people. That in this way like affects other people, or they might see information about themselves that affects themselves, you know what I mean? So like that's always so tricky for me. Like I feel like when I'm sitting with an IT person doing something on my PC, like I have to sit right next to them so that they can see, because like when you're setting up your printer and they're like, oh, just print any document. The other day I was like, okay, which document should I choose? Because every document is confidential. Like it's so tricky for me.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sure. The other one is tech troubles during a presentation. This gives me a boost of anxiety. Like if I need to mentally prepare for a presentation, or like just something I need to like show someone on the screen, and now you're there like, okay, HDMI 1, HDMI 2, which one is it? Why isn't this remote working? Or like the screen is sharing, but it's not sharing the correct screen, or you've shared everything in your screen, and oh my goodness, that just, Oh.
I'm not going to say at which company, but there was a couple of guys that needed to do a presentation to the CEO and a couple of the other execs. And they've tested everything. They've tested, because like we at this point in our careers where we test everything and we get to meetings like 30 minutes early to make sure everything is fine. And they did all of that. The moment of the presentation, the laptop decided that it needs to update. And do you know how long it takes for a Windows laptop to update? It feels like
and
you're
you can't
sitting
switch
there.
it off. It happens automatically. And oh my goodness.
And we're just sitting there with the CEO waiting for this laptop to update.
It's like, so nice weather we are having today. Oh, I like that tie. Where did you buy it from?
But actually, you wish like the world, the floor would just open up and spot you.
Oh my word. So yeah, those are some of the funny ones that stood out.
Very funny. Yeah.
To me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
All right. Okay. Do you have any career mistakes that you want to share? Do you have any?
Me.
Or are we just so perfect that like
Oh my gosh, of course I have career mistakes. But I don't know if this is really a career mistake, but it's kind of funny. And I'm not sure if I probably have said this before, but it's one that sticks in my brain. So just after COVID, we went back to the office. It wasn't full time. It was still like part-time in my previous company. And I'm sitting in this meeting room with someone who like I used to speak to all the time, like in meetings. I dealt with her, like she was my go-to business person when I was in the business intelligence team at my previous company. And I'm sitting in this meeting room and I'm like, okay, I'm getting ready to now present. And I look at the screen and she's sitting in front of me and I tell her, can you see my screen? Because I was so used to asking someone like, can you see my screen? Right? And she's sitting in front of me and she looks at me and she bursts out laughing. And I'm a dark-skinned person, but that day I went red. Like the way I went red.
It's like, can you see the screen?
Right? I was so embarrassed at that. Like for me, I was like, oh my gosh, could you be more like stupid? Okay, so while I'm thinking
before the presentation even starts,
right? And now you can imagine my whole like my confidence is now like so, like dumbed down a little bit because I'm like crap. While I'm thinking about the next one, do you have one?
I mean, I feel like all my mistakes that I would have made is like it's like serious. I can't see it as a funny way. I mean, I think once I sent an email. Oh, yeah, which is also my fear, but it has happened. Sending emails to the wrong people. Like, if you have someone internally that's name is Alex, and you also have the external person named Alex, and then you send an email, like maybe the external Alex is supposed to send the company's financial information to.
Yeah.
And then like sending it to the internal Alex, which didn't happen. It didn't happen, but I did because Alex did deal with some financial things. But I had sent the internal Alex like a response, but he didn't get any of like the personal information. It was really just a question. But those are like the awkward mistakes that I have made that I just sit there afterwards and I think like, what does this employee think of me? They're probably thinking that I'm sending their information to other people.
Like, I can imagine, especially in like the area of the business that you're in. Like it definitely probably adds more pressure to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think something like that only happened like twice in my career, but thankfully it was like really tiny things that I could correct. But like when I am sending like big information, I triple check like who am I sending it to, and passwords and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's horrible. It's horrible because I'm always thinking about like the other person. What's this other person now thinking about? Like, how am I dealing with their information?
Definitely. You reminded me of something not as serious, but so in my previous company, we worked on a platform which like just allows you to keep track of all the tasks, like things that are on the backlog, things we need to work on, projects, that kind of thing. And you have to assign like tasks to people so that they know this is theirs and they take responsibility of it. So I was in charge of assigning one of the tasks, and I had assigned it to some manager in finance by accident because it's everyone's like names that come up for some reason. And this person sent me an email to say, sorry, I have no idea what this is. Could you please take my name off this task? And I mean, I had changed it, but I think I changed it too late. So they obviously got the initial assignee email. And oh my gosh, and at the time I was still very like new in my career. I think I was like 2 years in, and I was just so embarrassed. And I remember telling my manager, I'm like, am I going to get into trouble?
Because at that time, like that mistake seems so big.
So big, right? Like you don't know at that point, you don't know what you can and can't do, and like what things actually just slide or what's normal.
Yes.
Yeah. That was funny for me.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, like it was so nice of that person to respond, because that happened to me several times where people would email me like serious stuff, like hi Insaaf, like could you please like assist with this, whatever. And the email was not, and it was like when I was much younger in my career, and the email wasn't meant for me. And they'd send me like these serious emails, but I just sit there. Be like, you'll figure it out. You'll figure why they intended. But I guess it's like my name is so unique that if my name pops up on the email, it's like this should be the person.
Yeah.
What are the chances that there's like multiple people with my name? Oh. Anyway, okay. Well, this was fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. This was really a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I feel like I learned a lot.
Yeah, I feel like I laughed so much.
I know we needed this. This was good therapy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Maybe we should do it like more often. Maybe you guys can let us know what you thought about this, like more chilled, less serious, us admitting our career mistakes episode.
Love that.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll chat to you guys in the next episode. Bye.